Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive on the London St. Thomas real estate market. We're coming to you live from Forest Hill Real Estate Distinction Branch right here in London, Ontario. And yeah, we're really excited to break down some of the trends and data we've been seeing lately.
Absolutely. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting to think about buying your first place, we're going to try to give you a clear picture of what's happening in the market right now.
Perfect, Dan.
Yeah.
If you want to learn even more, head over to our website, www.foresthilldistinction.com.
Lots of great resources over there.
But for now, let's jump right in. One thing that's really caught my eye is that the market seems to be stabilizing a bit. We're even seeing some signs of positive growth. So
Yeah.
I know the past few years have been a bit of a roller coaster. So what exactly are we seeing here?
Well, if we look at November 2024 specifically, we saw a pretty noticeable increase in sales activity and a higher dollar volume compared to the same time last year.
Okay, so things are picking back up. But what does that mean for, say, someone who's thinking about selling their house right now?
Right. Well, one of the key indicators we always look at is what's called the sales to new listings ratio.
Okay, and for those of us who maybe aren't familiar with that,
Sure.
can you break that down a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, this ratio tells us whether we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market. And right now, for November 2024, it was sitting at 55.7%, which is really interesting because it indicates a balanced market.
Okay, so not a crazy seller's market like we've seen in the past,
Exactly.
but also not a buyer's market.
Nope, it's right in the middle, which is good news for everyone involved.
That sounds like a much more stable and predictable situation. Now, what about prices? Are we still seeing those go up?
Yeah, they are, but at a much more moderate pace. So in November 2024, the average sale price was $640,000. That is a 5.9% increase compared to November 2023, but it's not the kind of dramatic jump we were seeing a couple of years ago.
Okay, so steady growth, not a sudden spike. Gotcha. But, that still sounds like a pretty significant price tag for anyone trying to get into the market.
Oh, for sure. But it's important to remember that the London market has historically been very stable. So these price increases are really just reflecting the overall value and desirability of living in this area.
That makes sense. Okay, before we get too deep into the numbers, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. How has the market been performing over the past few years?
Well, you can't talk about 2024 without acknowledging what happened in 2021 and 2022. Those were incredibly hot years in real estate. Prices were climbing really rapidly. Then things cooled down a bit in 2023, and now we're starting to see that steady increase again.
So what we're seeing now is kind of like a course correction, a return to a more balanced and sustainable market.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. We're moving away from those drastic peaks and valleys and finding a more healthy equilibrium.
And that benefits both buyers and sellers in the long run. Okay, so we've got this stable market, moderate price growth, and a good balance between buyers and sellers.
Hmm.
What does that actually mean for someone who's, say, looking to buy their first home here in London?
Well, first of all, don't panic. It's actually a great time to enter the market because you're not dealing with the frenzy of a seller's market.
So no need to rush into things.
Nope, you have time to do your research, find the right neighborhood, and really make sure you're making a sound investment.
That's great advice. Okay, so we've talked about the big picture, the overall market trends. Now I'm curious, what about different types of properties? Like what's happening with single-family homes, townhouses, apartments?
Let's start with single-family homes. They're always in high demand and they're holding strong.
Okay, no surprise that people love their space.
Yeah.
But what about townhouses? I feel like those are becoming more and more popular these days.
You are absolutely right. Townhouses are a hot commodity right now, especially for first-time buyers or those looking for a more manageable property.
Makes sense. So townhouses are kind of the rising stars of the London market. Now, what about those of us who maybe prefer condo living? What's going on in the apartment market?
So the apartment market's interesting. We have seen a little bit of a slowdown recently, but that actually creates a really unique opportunity for investors.
Hold on. A slowdown equals opportunity.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, think about it this way. A little less competition can mean more room to negotiate. And if you're in it for the long haul, apartments can offer some pretty attractive return.
I see. So for someone looking to maybe dip their toes into real estate investment, apartments might be a good place to start right now.
They could be, especially in a market like London where we have such strong rental demand, thanks to our universities, hospitals, and growing tech sector.
Right. A lot going on in London these days.
Definitely.
It's not just a quiet little city anymore.
Not at all. And all that vibrancy is reflected in the real estate market. But no matter what type of property you're interested in, whether it's a single-family home, a townhouse, an apartment, it all comes back to those core market trends we were talking about. Stability,
Hmm.
moderate growth, and a good balance between buyers and sellers.
So taking all of that into consideration, and what's your top advice for anyone listening who's thinking about taking the plunge and getting into the London real estate market?
You know, whether you're buying, selling, or investing, knowledge is power. Do your research, understand the market dynamics, and most importantly, work with a trusted real estate professional who can guide you every step of the way.
I couldn't agree more. Having someone in your corner who understands the ins and outs of this market can make all the difference.
Absolutely. And that's where we come in at Forest Hill Real Estate Distinction Branch. We're all about empowering our clients with the information and support they need to make smart decisions.
And remember, you can always find more resources and insights on our website, www.foresthilldistinction.com. We're constantly updating it with market reports, neighborhood guides, all sorts of helpful tools. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. Until next time, happy house hunting.